If we can create meaningful jobs that cut waste, it's a win-win. People feel good about what they're doing, but they're also doing good for society. SAV's mission statement is that we're focusing on achieving optimum indoor living environment, but with a minimum of energy wastage. The energy trilemma is basically three things. It's security of supply. You don't want to be dependent on oil from the Middle East or gas from Russia. The second one is the carbon footprint. And the third is the cost of energy. And so you've got to get all of those right, but it needs to be balanced. The real challenge of improving the performance of buildings and so forth is having to bring in technologies, link them and apply them. So we have very big technology partners who are specialists in each their own area, but then we come with a solution by combining the technologies and then supporting consultants, clients, installers in getting the whole system to work.
Insight and SAV formed a joint venture to cut the cost of heat network, so they created Curve. The Curve app is designed specifically for domestic customers to support them as they transition from individual gas boilers to other technologies like heat networks. Curve shows residents what they're using, how they're using it, and helps them to manage their account in terms of payments and contact. We've noticed that the majority of views are on the consumption graph page, so people are really interested in how they're using their energy, when their peaks are, how much energy they use when they're having a shower, when they're boiling the kettle. It's also having the added benefit of driving down energy consumption, with research showing that actually it can save up to 20% of energy use.
The background behind Curve was to say that heat networks have a tremendous potential to reduce the carbon footprint. We've just taken heat networks, the logical conclusion, and brought them into the digital age. Our crib sheet is that we have an insight into how things have been solved in other countries, primarily Scandinavia. We understand exactly the challenges that developers, consumers, authorities have, whether it's the heating systems within an apartment building, ventilation in schools. Where are those holes? Where are the gaps? And we're always looking to understand the gaps.
So we've been supplying mechanical ventilation to schools so that we can implement energy efficient systems with low carbon emissions. So this is going to improve the indoor environment whilst still guaranteeing low carbon emissions and reaching this net zero target in the future. This is the AM300 mechanical ventilation with heat recovery. You have the inlet filter. So the air from the outside is passing through this filter, which is filtering the outdoor pollutant before it comes into the unit.
In this classroom we have an air master. If you're a school with heat recovery, you will have a much lower energy bill because you'll be using much less heating than you would be if you were to just let heat out through the windows. By using heat recovery, we can save up to about 64% of the heat load in a classroom.
We're actually saving that heat and introducing it back into the room, but without recirculating air, which is important to get rid of the CO2 of the room and to not recirculate any bacteria or airborne viruses.
Examples of a school or Curve are examples of the same theme, that it is about changing habits. There's plenty of energy, but we've just been very wasteful of it. So it's a wake-up time, but it's common sense from an economics point of view. And if we can also help save the planet while we do that, if we don't take this turn, then where do we end?